Well, good morning, Las Vegas. This is Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. I forgot what my show's name was for a minute there. Anyways, I hope that you're off to an amazing morning. I've got something new I want to start doing, you guys. All of you guys pretty much know that I am a follower of Jesus Christ. I am a Christian. I am not perfect and I do not judge people, but I'm doing my best to follow who blesses me every day, my Savior, Jesus Christ. So I've decided I want to start my shows off with a quick scripture. Let's get the day going right in a good direction. So let's start that off today with John 16:13, NIV version. Here's our first morning scripture. But when He, the Spirit of the truth, comes, He will guide you into all the truth. He will not speak on His own. He will only speak what He hears, and He will tell you what is yet to come. So I don't know who needed to hear that quick scripture this morning, but I pray that it blesses you. And now that we got the scripture of the day covered, let's go ahead and jump into the show. So once again, I am Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. I have been in real estate full time for over 8 years. Okay. I'd like to give out a couple of shots out and a couple congrats and let you guys know what's going on. A lot's going on. We've got people closing on their homes. I'm so excited for them. We have my sellers, closing on their properties. We've sold those properties for top dollar quickly. They're happy. They're getting their wires and they're calling me. Thank you so much, Monique. You made that process super smooth for us and easy. Any of the hurdles that come up, I jump over those hurdles for them and help get them to the finish line. So congratulations to Mr. Creighton. He is one of our KUNV veterans. He called me about 2 weeks ago and he has been approved. And he said, you know what, Monique? I think I want to go to Pahrump. You've talked about Pahrump. I know that with my approval amount, I can get a home out there in Pahrump. So we have been sending him listings, me and my team, and we're going to take him out. Go ahead and get him into escrow right there in Pahrump. So congratulations, Mr. Creighton. All right. And then, guys, I have a special shout out. All right, to one of my very dear friends. He's actually UNLV alumni. Many of you guys may remember Mr. Jermaine Sunshine Smith. He was one of Tark's picks. You guys remember Tark, right? The basketball coach for UNLV. So Jermaine Sunshine Smith played for UNLV around 1993 through 1997. He's a very dear friend of mine, and he called me and said, Monique, I'm ready. Because I'm always all over my friends. Listen, you're paying $3,000 a month in rent. Don't you call me again for a rental. You can't be driving a Land Rover and have a landlord. No. So he called me up and said, Mo, let's do it. So I want to give him and his beautiful family. Jermaine is actually a twin himself, and he's got a pair of twins. He also has, I think he's got a grand total of about 5 beautiful babies with his beautiful wife. And they are just so happy that they just went into escrow. Congratulations, Mr. Sunshine Smith and your beautiful family. So that was really near and dear to me. I'm so happy for them. We have a couple new listings coming up as well. A lot of people have been reaching out, that have been thinking about listing their properties. They've been reaching out. Monique, I'm ready. And I know you'll be honest with me. So I appreciate their trust in, trusting me with listing their properties, getting them sold, negotiating for my sellers, like always, breaking records in the neighborhood. I just give God the honor and glory. And I'm so thankful that He put me in this position to be able to help people and do what I love at the same time. And, so anyways, congratulations to my sellers. We've closed about 3 of my listings. On average, each one of my listings were on the market for less than a week. You heard me right. Less than a week. And we got those bad boys right on into escrow and they just closed. Okay. So here's the thing, you guys. My listings tend to get quite a bit of traction. And it's no secret that I have this beautiful platform called KUNV with my listeners, my beautiful listeners, who, when they listen, they tell their family, hey, Monique's got a listing I think you might be interested in. Here's the address. You can take a look and see what it's, looking like. But I have a couple new listings coming up. Okay, one of them, well, both of them are single stories. Okay, single story properties. They're both just under 1,500 square feet. One is going for around 435. That one has a pool and was completely remodeled. Okay, no HOA. Like I said, it has a pool, been completely remodeled, remodeled kitchen, remodeled floors, paint, 435,000. It is within 2 minutes from the freeway, okay, and about 4 minutes from Summerlin without the Summerlin, fees, HOAs, and, everything else. But you get all of the amenities of Summerlin, the shopping, the restaurants. But yet that price, $435, is not a Summerlin price, especially with the pool. So that address is 508 Sportsman. Once again, 508 Sportsman. And that one I already have in coming soon status. I'm waiting to get professional pictures, which I always do with each one of my listings. And that comes out of my pocket, by the way. So I make sure that your property has professional pictures always. Now, if you want me to go coming soon status to, get the business going before we even go live on the market, we can do that as well. So that's what we did. 508 Sportsman. That one does have a pool. Now the other one is, by the way, the cross streets for that was Rainbow and Washington. Now the cross streets for this single story, corner lot, backyard. This one is on Rainbow in Eastern. Okay, so not too far from Cashman Field. And this one we're listing at $350,000. It even has a bonus room in the back, okay, aka sunroom, bonus room, whatever you want to make that room, a pool table room. So yeah, that one is also, by the way, both of these are 3-2s, 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. That one's going for $350,000, okay? That one is also in coming soon status right now, 1200 Vaughn, Vaughn. Vaughn Street, so 1200 Vaughn. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into the show. Like I was talking to you guys about, these listings, I know that a lot of times people shrink back from listing a property or they put it off because maybe there's a lot going on with the property. I understand. I get it. I've listed many properties, and so I understand that, the hesitation or the anxiety that might come with a property that you already know has quite a bit going on. In other words, maybe it has a lot of junk that you need to remove, maybe it's, it was, Big Mama's house, or, where she left a lot of stuff in there and she lived there for 40 years and, you go over there and look around like, oh my goodness, where do I start, right? Well, that's what we're here for. That is what I'm here for. I come over and I will give you advice and walk you through how we can, get this ball rolling, and where it won't cost you an arm and a leg out of your pocket, because sometimes people don't have the funds up front to take care of these type of things. I don't know if you've checked into junk removal, but it's not cheap, okay? Now, the good news is I have those resources, and the majority of my team will allow you to pay them at escrow. In other words, hey, we'll go ahead and take care of, all these issues you have. Maybe you've got leaks under the sink, or you need a new air conditioning unit, or whatever the issue is, pool issues, whatever the issue is. That there's some work that has to be done, and you're thinking you need to get it done before you list the property. But I'm here to tell you that me and my team can assist and help you get that property list ready without you shelling out thousands of dollars up front. Okay, so that'll take a lot of that anxiety off of your plate. If you're just tuning in, my name is Monique Buchanan. I am your local Las Vegas realtor. I got to stop saying that. Because honestly, I am your realtor that covers 24 countries and nationwide. So if you have anybody that's looking to buy, sell in all our beautiful states, I can cover you and get you in the hands of one of my team members that can assist and make sure that you're taken care of, as well as 24 countries, okay? I had a listing in Colombia. So yes, we can help you if you're thinking about being an expat, relocating even to Panama, okay? Wherever you want to relocate. So we're talking about listing your property. But let me go ahead and tell you my number. If you have any questions, 702-984-3600. 3700 if you're thinking about listing your property or purchasing a property, or just like I said, have questions. 702-984-3700. And my website is welcomehomewithmonique.com. You can also check out my Instagram, Realtor Monique Buchanan, Buchanan, and www.welcomehomewithmonique.com. Once again, is my website. So if you're thinking about listing and, it's just overwhelming, you're like, my goodness, where do I start? I'm here to tell you that that's what we do. I will come check out the property with you, walk through it with you, be completely honest with you. And guess what? I have the resources to help you get it list ready. Or, hey, I have cash buyers that I can say, hey, if this is just too much for you, or maybe there's a bunch of family involved and you're like, listen, we just need to get it sold. So I will be your resource to go over all your options, and you will let me know which one makes sense for you and your family and how you'd like to move forward. But I just want people to know that, because I know that a lot of people, they're looking around their house and they're like, oh my goodness, I've been meaning to paint those banisters forever, or my goodness, my flooring is, 5 different colors. If you don't want to fix those things, then we can just, adjust the price to reflect that. Or we can give a credit to the buyer. Hey, I know that I never got this stuff fixed. We can offer a credit. So there's ways to do things without having you all stressed out, thinking that you've got this laundry list of things that need to be completed before you give me a call to list your property. I'm here to tell you that no, we can go over all options and I'll take that stress off your shoulders. Okay. So another thing that I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to listing properties, you want to make sure that you have a professional realtor that is able to negotiate for you and on your behalf. Okay. Now, there are over 15,000 realtors in our city. All right. And, hats off to my colleagues. I love you guys, but I got to, speak the truth. I would say around 85% to 90 of them are, doing this not full time, but maybe as a part-time thing. You know what I mean? So they're not in the market full time, and that can affect your expertise. It can affect your ability to negotiate, because you have to be in the market constantly because it changes so quickly. So if you're not in that market constantly as a full-time realtor like myself, the market changes in an instant. So maybe when you last did a deal, maybe it was a month ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Okay. But when you were in that deal, a month ago or so, at that time, sellers were giving out closing costs because that's the market we were in. But hey, it's been a while since you closed the deal. Now you're representing your friend, you do it part-time, you're not, so that affects the seller, because if you're not in the know of what exact market is going on today, then you can make a mistake of giving away closing costs when we're not in a market that's doing that right now, because that's just how quickly the market changes. So that's why I say, listen, it is imperative to have a realtor that is in the market, and I mean regularly, okay? Because it does change quickly, and that could potentially cost you quite a bit of money if you do not. So needless to say, I have been a full-time realtor for over 8 years in the market. This is all I do since I've gotten my license. I love what I do. I love helping my sellers. I love helping buyers, but I am in the market constantly. And because I do know how to help buyers, this has also given me the ability to negotiate even that much better. Because of my knowledge of lending, as you guys hear me talk about all the time, because of my knowledge of the down payment assistance programs, because I have access, because of this platform, to the vice president, one of the vice presidents of Guaranteed Rate. You guys have heard him many times come on my show. Mr. Anthony is what I call him. But because Anthony is on my team and he has 450 lenders under him, over 20 years of experience, this plays a major part when I'm listing a property. Well, Monique, how does that benefit a seller by you and Anthony being a team? Well, I'll tell you how. When I'm representing my seller, I need to make sure, because there are 15,000 realtors doing this, a lot of them doing this part-time, okay? So when they bring me a buyer, okay, I don't know whose lender they used. You know what I mean? So in many cases, he's not a VP of Guaranteed Rate, right? So With that being said, I don't know who they're coming with. I don't know what lender this is. And that's a major thing because I need to be able to vet out this buyer on behalf of my seller to make sure that I'm not accepting an offer from a lender that has not done their due diligence. Okay? Hey, it is what it is. It happens all the time. So I know the questions to ask. And then if I'm still a little leery, I'll bring Anthony on and have him vet that buyer and make sure that everything that needed to happen to make sure this is a viable buyer that can make it all the way to the finish line, not waste my seller's time by being off the market and their home being off the market for 3 weeks. And then, all of a sudden the buyer can't buy anymore. This happens, guys. Okay, so I'm not trying to bash any of my colleagues. I love them. We all work hard, part-time and full-time, okay? We all work hard. But I'm just being completely honest. This happens all the time. So if you accept a buyer's offer and then at the last minute they have to back out because their lender forgot to, check the IRS to see if they had actually submitted their tax returns, or whatever, check their income and make sure that it's on the up and up, then this is the stuff that happens all the time, but that's going to hurt my seller. Okay. So I've had it happen many a times where the buyer's agent calls me and says, I'm so sorry. We're not going to be able to move forward. And I say, wait a minute. You know what I mean? What's going on? There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. So that's why I've started bringing Anthony in, and he makes sure that we don't have these issues. And if it does happen, Anthony then will take their file and look at it. And let me tell you something. If a file can make it to the closing table, Anthony will see how to get it there, and we get to the closing table. In other words, now I take their buyer and tell them, hey, listen, have your buyer call my guy and see if my guy, who is a VP with 400 agents under him, if he can go ahead and get them to the closing table. And let me tell you something, he does. He gets them to the closing table. The previous lender missed a way that it can happen. He gets it done. So that's imperative for sellers to know. You have got to have an agent that has those kind of resources and those kind, team members in play. Team members that can charge you at escrow. So in other words, Mr. Seller, it looks like you're telling me you need about $3,000 worth of work before you're ready to list the home. Well, guess what? No worries. My team is going to take care of that. You can just pay my team back after you sell the property. So you don't have to be stressed out, trying to come up with this money to get the home ready to sell. That way, after you've secured whatever your proceeds are, you can then pay my team members, whether that be the handyman, the air conditioning guy, whoever, the junk removal guy. You can pay them out of escrow. So that way you're not stressed out. Okay. Take some of that stress off of your shoulders. And also, Mr. Seller, I have Anthony, one of the vice presidents of lending company Guaranteed Rate, that's going to be helping me to vet the buyers for your property to make sure that they actually are able to cross that finish line. That is crucial. And not to mention, Mr. Seller, me and my team also have this platform besides syndicating you on Zillow, Trulia, homes.com, wherever, all those platforms, which every realtor can do. There's unique properties out there that are pretty, tough for an average realtor to sell. But with this platform and all the things that I'm telling you about, I say that humbly, but at the same time, it's the truth. So, and I'm grateful for it. And my sellers are grateful for it. So anyway, so let's jump on into the other portion of my show today. So now that I've spoken to my sellers or my potential sellers that are thinking about listing their property, if they're interested, 702-984-3700, 702-984-3700, welcomehomewithmonique.com. And you can reach me also. IG is Monique Buchanan, Realtor Monique Buchanan. So let's pivot on to my buyers. Guys, guess what? A lot of buyers are now using the down payment assistance programs, okay? Because it's no secret that the feds have announced they're going to be lowering these rates. We all know it's a election year, so it's coming, right? We can all agree to that. The rates will be coming down. So instead of waiting on them, sitting on our hands, jumping in the pool with everybody else at the same time, because we all know, as soon as the rates come down, the prices will go where? Straight up. why not let me and my team go ahead and get you into a property now and have the ability to negotiate, money from the seller and or the builder towards your fees. Okay, that's what's happening. So I got a lot of savvy buyers right now, and they're saying, you know what, Monique, let's go ahead and do the down payment assistance program, because they're very comparable to today's rate. They've come back around. They've changed them. I'm so happy. That's why you didn't hear me talking about them, because for a while there, the rates were just even higher than the regular rate. So I was like, oh, no, that doesn't make sense. So now they're pretty comparable to what the current rates are anyway. So why not have zero down, right? All right. So zero down, you don't pay your down payment. It is gifted to you. You can choose to pay it back if you want. All right. Or there is a program where you do not have to pay it back. You do need a 640 credit score or higher. You must be on any job, just employed for 2 years, okay? So if you had a job and you quit and you went to another job, that, as long as there wasn't a huge gap in between those jobs, you should be fine, all right? Now, remember, this is for your primary residence. This is not for you to start building your investment portfolio, okay? So if you own a home, maybe out of state, that's fine. We have a grant for that as well. But if you own a home here in the city or in the state, I believe it has to be so many miles away, but that is something for Mr. Anthony to talk to you about. But you don't have to be a first-time home buyer is my point, all right? If you are a first-time home buyer, that just means that you have been renting a house for the last 3 years. So that's the rules, guys. If you've been renting a house for the last 3 years, you're considered a first-time home buyer. You are able to put down as little as 3.5%. That is a myth that you have to put 20% down. That is not true. If you're a first-time home buyer, you only have to put down 3.5%. If you own a home and you want to buy or upscale your home or downsize, then yes, you can go ahead and rent out your house and put, once again, 3% down. So the only time you pretty much have to put 20% down, guys, is if it is a straight up investment property. When you're buying it, you're just going to rent it out. You don't plan on living in it. It's not going to be your primary residence at all. Then yes, that's when we say, okay, you're going to have about 20% down. All right. So there's that. So let's just recap. 640 credit score or higher, 2 years on the job. It must be your primary residence. This is a statewide program. So if you're like, well, Monique, I'm thinking about moving to Reno, don't worry. Momo's got you covered. Okay. Yes. And you will have a 30-year fixed interest rate. There's no up, down, and all around. We're not doing that. You will get up to 4%, which means if your down payment is only 3.5%, 0.5% of that will go towards your closing costs. But hey, me and my team. But remember what I said, markets change, and I mean quick. So once again, my number is 702-984-3700. If you're just tuning in, this is Monique Buchanan. I was going over down payment assistant programs, zero down for the purchase of your property. If you have student debt, please, please, please do not give up. Just because one lender in the past told you no, do not give up. That was not my lender, okay? So it's a 5-minute conversation. I have quite a few people call me with student debt that were told they could not purchase or they were approved for such a ridiculously low amount. They just gave up. Please don't give up. You went out there, got your education. You should not be punished. There's been some rule changes recently as well. So do not give up. 702-984-3700. So another thing is my veterans, zero down, like Mr. Creighton. He's excited. I'm excited. And I told him, that's my job. When I'm representing my buyers, hey, I flip the coin. I'm on the other side now. I'm going to make sure to get them the best deal possible because I know how to negotiate that. I know how to make that rapport with the listing agent because I am a listing agent. So I know how, to get my buyers the best deal possible. And then when I'm representing my sellers, guess what? I flip on over again. I know how to walk that new buyer's agent or that part-time buyer's agent through putting their deal together where it makes sense for my seller, but also helps their buyer. So if they tell me, Monique, my buyer needs closing costs, well, that's no shock, right? Okay, well, here's what you do. I'm going to walk you through how to wrap that closing cost or just up the price of the home so that your buyer will only end up paying $15 more on their mortgage, but they'll be able to get their closing costs that they need without my seller having to come out of their pocket with it. Listen, guys, I told you, I know what I'm doing. So these are the things that matter. This is what's going to put more money in my seller's pocket, but at the same time, help the buyer out without, making them come out of their pocket a crazy amount. So listen, I train agents. And if you are an agent out there listening to me, listen, our jobs really matter. We really, nobody knows how much we do for our clients, buyers, agents, and listing agents. We go above and beyond. We're answering the phone calls, all times of the day and night, making sure things are getting done so that our clients can have their home, their dream of their home ownership happen for them. So if you are an agent that's been thinking about switching brokerages, or if you need mentorship, that is something that I do provide as well. I am with eXp Brokerage. There is a ton of training, like I can't even get into it. I'm going to start having people come on to talk about that for agents that are listening, because it's changed my whole career. The knowledge that they drop on their agents is unbelievable. So it'll, help you get there where you're able to just negotiate the best deals for your clients as well. So if you're interested in switching brokerages, or you've been thinking about, having someone help you, 702-984-3700. Then that was a shout out to my realtor partners out there that are listening. But anyways, guys, like I said, once these rates do drop, it's going to be crazy. I think we all kind of know that. We know everybody's going to be jumping into the pool, because guess what? The demand is still there, but we do not have a lot of inventory. Sure, there might be a little bit more inventory that jumps, that comes onto the market, but not enough to, I don't think it's going to be enough to suffice the demand at all. Not one bit, not here in Las Vegas. So remember, when you're on YouTube listening to people, you have to remember, what market are they in? What city are they in? Not every city's the same, but I do know the whole country is in a shortage of housing. Okay. Don't sit on your property, because one thing about it is, if you do sit on the property, you will get multiple offers more than likely, but it's going to cost you every day that you keep that property off the market. Is it really going to make sense? After you do the numbers of continuing to pay the mortgage, continue to pay all the fees, is it really going to make sense when we can go ahead and get you a viable buyer and get you closed and on your way to your next investment, or whatever it is that you want to do with your property? So I'm here to help. My name is Monique Buchanan. I am your local Las Vegas. Let me stop. I am your nationwide and 24 country realtor, and I'm here to assist you. So thank you for listening to the show. I appreciate each and every one of you. Special shouts out to Miss Cheryl Brewster, one of my past clients. I just love her and her husband. Thank you so much for trusting me, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. God bless.